Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, from Porsche Classic Center. We're honored to have you on the show finally. We've talked a lot about it, eventually getting you on the show. And full disclaimer, we're at an event, so there's some background noise.
A little bit.
But it's good background noise. There's people talking, there's people meeting, and that's what these events are for, right?
Love it. Great event.
So, and next month we're going to come visit you, and we're going to get the full Porsche Classic deep dive, and we're going to go on to that. So we just want to talk a little bit more about Ray as a person, and Ray's coming
Ray
up.
Is Ray.
Yeah. Ray on Ray, right?
I could talk about that.
Yeah. Nice. So recently, something I found pretty interesting. Practice what you preach, essentially, with your 964.
Yeah.
You put it through your own Porsche Classic program, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. How did that come about, and what are some Easter eggs you found while you were doing that?
Yeah, that was a preparation about a year ago for going out to Rennsport. And the plan was going to be that we were going to do a classic drive back from Rennsport. A number of us from the company were going to send the cars out and then drive back.
Okay.
And so I was getting the car ready for that process. The car really only had 64,000 miles on it at the time, so we were going and doing some service maintenance on the car, and opening it up and doing some of that servicing was noted that one of the studs was broken.
Okay.
And so at that point in time, it was like, well,
you're there.
Yeah, so it's going to be like, customers come first, obviously, and so that's why it's just now getting finished. It normally doesn't take that long to do it, but I did it in between, if you will.
Nice. Yeah. So kind of essentially, while customer projects you were going to obviously take the place of that, of course.
Right. Exactly. I mean, for me, it's a car for life. I mean, it's my 911 for life. It's the reason why I have it is because of the Brumos connection with that car. Mm-hmm. The fellow that had it before me. The car came from Brumos. It's when Brumos was running the IMSA Supercar Series, and the fellow that had it, Don, a great guy, still with us, he was one of the instructors at the Brumos driving school. And so what they used to do at the school, and this program ran from 1985 all the way to 2000.
Oh, wow.
2015. And so what they used to do was at the end of the school, they would bring out the IMSA Supercar that Hurley won the championship with, 91, 92, 93. And of course, the students would line up waiting to go for that ride with Hurley around the track.
Yeah, absolutely. Who wouldn't, right?
Mm-hmm. So there's Don with pretty much the same car sitting in the parking lot.
Wow.
And so, nice guy that he is and race car driver that he is, he's like, if you want to go for a ride around the track with me while you're waiting for Hurley, I got my car over there. And so a line would form for Don, and the next thing you know, Don's chasing Hurley with that car. So
that had to be fun.
So you might say the car was only used on the weekends. But
wow, that's awesome.
It was a great history. So that's where that car came from for me. So now that I'm its caretaker, I figured, this is a great opportunity. I don't ever plan to get rid of that car. It's my 911 for life. And so, why not? The engine's good to go now.
Yeah. So rewind a little bit. Did you always have that car on your radar, or was it just an opportunity that kind of presented itself and then you seized that opportunity? How did that happen?
Well, I had a regret is how it happened. I had a 993 at one point in time, and because I was driving the company car at the time, I had a newer 911 as well. And I was never using the 993, and I wasn't thinking like a collector at the time. I was just thinking like somebody that had a car in the garage that wasn't being used.
Taking up space.
Yeah. Right.
And
you were an enthusiast and I'm not using it. It would be nice if someone else used it. Let's move it on.
So in a moment of weakness, I moved it on. And, of course, the regret came back to get me. And so I went looking for another 993. And then that's when I happened to run into Don, and he mentioned that he was thinking about making a change to a Boxster S with a PDK.
Okay.
And so we worked out that deal, and that's how I became his next caretaker.
Nice. That's outstanding.
Yeah, it really is.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it really is a special car because of the connection, obviously, with Don, with Brumos, with Hurley, and the fact that
and clearly your connection with Brumos, so it's full circle there.
Totally, absolutely.
Really cool.
Yeah, and I just love the fact that sports car racing, GT racing, and showroom stock racing is about the cars that we sell. Mm-hmm. And so here was the IMSA Supercar, and then here's the street car, basically the same thing. Now, obviously, a lot of development work was done through that program, which is fascinating, led to the Turbo S in the 964. Before there was the 3.8 RSs and other things that came along. So it was really development of that, and some package cars were actually built by the factory using those Andile engines.
Oh, wow. That's
So
impressive.
Really cool history around that. My car's not one of those package cars, but to me, in my mind, it is. It's just it's got that connection.
Well, I just think it's neat. Like, what everybody needs to understand is you have a deep connection with Brumos, and like I said, I don't want to go too far into that because I want to share more of that when we talk about a deeper dive.
Yeah.
But you were clearly at Brumos for over 20 years, essentially, right? So, and you spent a lot of time there, and you have a lot of history there, and people who don't know that maybe because we're broadcast all over the world, Brumos is a significant pillar in Porsche history as far as racing. And they were a very winning team, and they have a lot of historic drivers, and they were just an amazing, amazing team based in Florida, which was amazing.
Which is cool.
Yeah, incredible to be around the people that created that history and the cars. And it was a wonderful community. That's why, again, the events like that are here tonight, I love coming out to these because that's what you lived for so long in that showroom, in that environment, and you see it spreading. I think,
Yes.
the place like that was a great venue to see that happen, but now these events are just going all over, and here you are, you're at these events, so it's a great
Exactly.
community.